And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought the firstborn of his flock and their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering. Genesis 4, verse 3 and 4. The two sons of Adam and Eve came to worship God. It was commendable that neither of these men had forgotten his Creator. It seemed perfectly logical that Cain, the tiller of the soil, should bring of the fruit of the ground, and that Abel, the keeper of the sheep, should bring forth of his flock. Why then was God displeased? In this incident, it illustrated a truth about the worship of God that has eternal significance. Worship must have a theological basis. In other words, worship must not just be what we want to do to honor God, but what God has asked us to do to honor Him. Throughout the ages, men have devised all sorts of ways of worshiping God. Some have bowed down to idols. Some have worshipped the heavenly bodies. Some have deified animals. Some even offered their own children. The story of Cain and Abel teaches us that, however logical and culturally orientated an act of worship appears to be, God is pleased only with the procedures of worship that He Himself has established. This means that in choosing a day of worship, we are to seek to discover God's choice rather than our own. In determining a manner of worship, we are to look for our models in the Scriptures. Tradition must be tested by a "Thus saith the Lord." When Cain became aware that God was not pleased with his offering, he became very angry, and his countenance fell. God tried to reason with him, but he seemed unable to react intelligently, so he resorted to violence. This in itself indicates the shallowness of his worship. Jesus said that the true worshiper must worship in spirit and in truth. Cain may have worshipped in spirit, we don't know, but his homage lacked the element of truth. We may worship in truth, but fail to worship in spirit. Apparently, Abel sensed both aspects of worship, and may we have the grace to do likewise. And as always, think on these things.